What's up, everyone? I'm Brian Altano, and in today's Fix of Entertainment news, Sam Raimi says Tobey Maguire would break his neck, Benedict Cumberbatch almost played a different MCU character, and Godzilla vs. Kong has its first star. Well, like aside from Godzilla and Kong. Anyway, let's drop it! Sam Raimi has admitted that he wouldn't consider directing a Tom Holland SpiderMan movie without Tobey Maguire involved because Tobey would break his neck for it. Raimi directed the original Spider-Man trilogy starring Tobey Maguire and returned to comic book films just recently with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, while Tobey Maguire appeared alongside fellow web-slingers Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield in Spider-Man No Way Home, which Raimi previously called so much fun. Agreed. So what's this neck-breaking thing all about then? Well, in a recent interview with the Los Angeles Times, Raimi said he's not interested in directing a Tom Holland-led Spider-Man movie unless Tobey Maguire signed up for it, as Raimi joked that he might have some strong feelings about it. He said, "I love Spider-Man, and I love Tom Holland in the role, but if I made a Spider-Man movie, it would probably have to be with Tobey, or he'd break my neck." After Raimi worked on 3 Spider-Man films with Tobey Maguire, and then Tobey Maguire returned to the world of Spider-Man with last December's Spider-Man No Way Home, and Raimi directed last week's Doctor Strange sequel, it kind of feels like the pieces could potentially be in play for Sam Raimi to work on a Spider-Man movie for Marvel again someday. I don't know. At least that's just what I'm hoping, or what all of us are hoping for right now. Hey, with the multiverse concept basically being a blank check for anything in terms of stories, then there's always a chance this could happen. Do it, Marvel! Can you go sit down over there? Hold on, give me 2 minutes. I had a feeling this was gonna happen. Speaking of Marvel movies, which we do frequently here, Doctor Strange star Benedict Cumberbatch recently revealed that he was originally asked to play a different MCU character, but turned it down in hopes to someday play something bigger for them. In a recent interview with BBC Radio 1, Cumberbatch related the story of how he turned down the role of Malekith in Thor: The Dark World, which ultimately went to Christopher Eccleston. Cumberbatch, who was fresh off Star Trek Into Darkness, apparently wanted a role that was, quote, a bit more juicy. Cumberbatch said the Doctor Strange role happened as an idea, muted after, funnily enough, another little dance I did for another character in the MCU, a very brief character. Cumberbatch said, referring to Malekith, of course, "I was bold enough to say I'm really flattered to be invited to the party, but I'd rather hold out for something a bit more juicy." Now, Thor: The Dark World is not exactly the most fondly remembered MCU movie, so I'm definitely glad that Benedict Cumberbatch held out for Doctor Strange instead. Ironically, I kinda wish Mads Mikkelsen had done the same with his role in Doctor Strange, because I'd much rather see him playing a much bigger villain character for Marvel. But hey, a bunch of actors in the MCU have starred as multiple characters in the past, so hopefully we get him back again soon. Until then, I'm gonna rewatch Hannibal because that show absolutely rules. Go watch Hannibal. Please. Again, give me one more story, okay? I promise you. And finally, according to a recent Deadline report, the upcoming MonsterVerse movie Godzilla vs. Kong 2 has cast its first lead actor, along with the return of director Adam Wingard as the film heads into production this summer. Dan Stevens, who played the titular Beast character in Disney's live-action remake of Beauty and the Beast, will star in the upcoming monster wrestling movie. So basically, Dan Stevens is going to go from playing a large beast to running away from them, or fighting them, in Godzilla vs. Kong 2, which I cannot wait for. Interestingly enough, Dan Stevens and director Adam Wingard previously worked together on The Guest, the 2014 horror thriller about a guy who shows up to a family's house, and then bad things start happening to everyone. We've all been there. Godzilla vs. Kong launched in theaters and on HBO Max last year, and became one of the biggest movies of the pandemic at the time. We don't know much about the story of the sequel, but also, I couldn't tell you much about the story in the last movie, despite thinking it was fun as hell, because I'm not really here for the story in these movies. I just want to see the large animals beat the shit out of each other, crush cities, and kill any human character who has the audacities to stay on screen longer than 30 seconds. Sure. Thank you. Go sit over there for 10 seconds, please. Now that you're all caught up on entertainment news, be sure to check out today's Daily Fix for your video game news of the day. What's up, NARS? Download the IGN app on all your devices, and for all things everything else, IGN.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. If it wasn't for this little gremlin over here, how dare you?